Now, I know you mentioned in some other content that you've published that you said human risk has overtaken technical risk,
Hmm.
which is true. I
Yes.
mean, in a variety of theater, in a variety of context. And I have a technical background. I always call it the problem between the keyboard and the chair. So there is some of that. But why have organizations been so resistant to that idea? And I've seen a few, and I'm sure you've
Um,
done.
I've been in the security awareness business, as you know, for many years, and did it for the military. I mean, for all these groups around the world, and then got out of it with selling the company and decided to start looking at other areas. The Some of the questions come up on number one, do we need it? Do we need it? Let's go back to 1992. Do I need to connect to the internet? Similar question. Do I need to train my employees? Why don't they just listen to me? Why don't they just do what I tell them to do? And these were a lot of the arguments in early security awareness, the evolution of that industry. So the other problem is the efficacy and of the metrics. How good are the metrics, and what do the metrics really show? So the EFH Institute out of Switzerland did a study, I guess 3, 4 years ago, and it said security awareness training really doesn't accomplish much other than a tick box. Okay, is that true? Well, security awareness companies are going to argue that they reduce it 93% or whatever their numbers are. I am openly questioning both sides of it because I think that any sort of training is better than having none at all. To say that your folks are trained and they're now going to behave, I think is a foolish interpretation or expectation. And I don't think that we have and I hate the word training, but from that standpoint, security awareness training, we're not doing enough, or we haven't learned yet how enough to create it such that we're modifying the habituation of the participant versus trying to change their cognitive front end. Because we have
Absolutely.
two sets of brains, the one we think with and the one we react with.
I'm sure you've seen the statistics before, but 2024, 2025, 90 to 98% of cybersecurity incidents were blamed on social engineering tactics.
Sure. Yeah, whatever the number is, the numbers have floated around. Yes, it's always been above 90%.
But social
Yep.
engineering is the gateway. I mean, back to your training question, your training comment earlier. That's how they're manipulating the system. So yeah, you build a firewall, you build your infrastructure, because companies do this. When you have a security threat or security problem, they throw infrastructure at it. They put more dollars into hardware, software, whatever else they need to buy for
And
it.
more complexity and an inability to tell what the hell is really going on.
Meanwhile, the gatekeepers for everything is your staff, your employees who have direct access to those systems.
Yep. We're in violent agreement on that. And so social engineering, has it morphed into cognitive warfare? Yeah, cognitive warfare in many ways I could say has been there go back to Germany, as a recent example, that they changed the mindset politically of an entire population willing to commit to what happened. Um, Machiavelli. You look at go back to history and you go back into even the Egyptian empires, and there were always, how do I control a population to do my bidding? And the argument I use today is he who controls the technology controls the narrative. He who controls the narrative controls your belief. And that, I think, is more true today than ever because of the force multiplying effects and lack of guardrails in the technology that distributes too much information.